Hey, good morning, people. Hope you have had a good rest and are ready to face the day. I have a word for you that comes from the book of Proverbs again. And so far we've been looking at issues of the ant. We've been looking at what it means to do it and do it now. Procrastination is not a good thing. We've been talking about what it means to do good so that we can reflect God and His nature to the world around us. It's a wonderful theme of just being able to do stuff. Well, I want to suggest to you today that we need to not just do it with style like we spoke yesterday about the military parade, but we got to do this Christian life with an element of trust. This is one of the big things in our Christian faith. It is a faith. It's not a Christian fact, it's a Christian faith. There are so many things we do not understand. There's so many things we cannot explain. It's a faith. Now we all know that the Bible tells us that without faith it is impossible to please God. And when you break faith down, it simply means a simple childlike trust. That's why Jesus said to His disciples, unless you become like a kid, you're never going to be able to get into the kingdom of heaven, because faith is what it is required to be a believer anyway. Now God has given to everybody an element of faith. We all have enough faith. Everybody in the world, we all have enough faith to become a Christian. We all have enough faith for that. But then different people have different levels and different measures of faith thereafter. There's no excuse to say, well, he's got more than me. We need to each one own our portion of faith and grow in it. That means, very simply, that we have to learn what it means to trust God. As I read the scriptures, I see anybody who was ever anybody had to learn what it meant to trust God. We in our Sunday services have been talking to the children about Moses. And Moses had to learn very quickly what it meant to trust God. And God watched as Moses blossomed in his faith, as he trusted God. And God came through for him every time. There's Moses standing on the edge of the Red Sea, the enemy Pharaoh behind, the sea in the front. And he's saying to God, God, what do I do now? And God just saying, Moses, just trust me. Moses, just trust me. Lift that stick up and point it to the other side and watch what I will do. And Moses did that. And God came through for him simply because Moses trusted God. And Moses began to realize, man, this trusting God thing really works. God will never fail me. God will never jack out on me. When he gets to the other side, he gets to the waters of Mara and it's bitter. He says, God, what do I do now? And God says, Moses, just trust me. And so Moses trusted God, and he took that stick and he threw it in the water, and with the whole millions of people watching him, and Moses thinking, Lord, if you don't come through for me now, I'm going to be the laughing stock of Israel. And yet God, as he always does, came through for Moses at that time. When he had a fight with the Amalekites, he looks at this vast army and says, God, what do I do? God says, you know what to do. Just do what I tell you, obey me, and above all, just trust me. People, listen, things have not changed. It's exactly the same. God has not changed. And when God has called you to do something for Him, all it requires is a simple act of obedience. The result is not up to you. The result will always be up to God. So I really hope and pray that today we would learn that much more to be able to trust God. Now, let me qualify this by saying, I'm not an unsympathetic person. I'm fully aware of some of the challenges that you face, especially in light of the virus, especially in light of the repercussions and the overflow from the virus issues. Many of you are battling in your jobs. Many of you don't even know if you're going to have a job when you get back. Many of you are battling financially, battling in your health. You're just battling. We all have an element of that. Well, here's the short answer. Guys, let's continue just to trust God. It's no good trusting God in disobedience, because then God has no obligation to come through for you. But when we trust God because we're being obedient to Him, God will always come through. He will never fail you. He will not forsake you. He will not jack out on you. He will always come through for you. So won't you today, as you go in today, check out your obedience factor. Make sure that you have done what God has asked you to do. And then you can sit back with real confidence and just know that God is worthy of every aspect of trust. As I read the Bible, I'm amazed that every time God makes a promise, He always comes through with the answer. He has a perfect track record, a perfect one, when it comes to people who have learned through obedience to trust Him. The beautiful verse of Proverbs 3 verse 5 and 6, we all know it so well, says what? Trust in the Lord and lean not on your own understanding. In all of your ways, there's the obedience fact, acknowledge Him and He will make your path straight. You don't have to make your path straight, He will do it for you. So go away today and learn Proverbs 3, 5 and 6, and may they be the strength that you need as you face the challenges of the world around you. Have a great day, people. Let's go save the world.